Hey everybody, MDW again, and today I've got something a bit out of left field. I've got two figures to review today. Thought it's appropriate to do them together. By the company Neca toys, I've got Robocop versus Terminator based on the computer game on the Sega Mega Drive. So we're going to crack both of them open and let's have a look at these two iconic figures. Okay, so let's take a look at Robocop first. So he's got the window packaging there, displays the figure, name down there, and then what weapon he comes with. He's got the flamethrower, as you can see, it's in there with him. And then picture of Robocop in the bottom right hand corner, and obviously the Robocop logo. What's really cool is that the boxes actually fit together, so when you put the Terminator one there, it kind of makes them go head to head on there, and it's obviously Robocop versus the Terminator on there. So that's a little nice touch there. The figure paint jobs I'll have a look at in a second, but they're all kind of very computer gamey, like retro colours and stuff like that, which is a nice touch again. Side of the box, you've got the grid on each side there, and then on the back there you've got a little blurb about the game. So in the crumbling ruins of a world under siege, man-machine meets machine-man as legendary cyborgs clash to decide the fate of the Earth. The Mega Drive game was great, I remember playing it lots, and there's an image on the back there of the figure displayed in the same way that the game was laid out. So this is how the game actually looked when you played it on the Mega Drive. So that's really cool.
Outside of the box, Robocop measures just over 7 inches tall. So the paint application is pretty special. Done in a retro style computer game, the front of his body is blue, highlighted with lighter blue to look like a comic booky, computer game feel. On the back it's dark purple, so the contrasting colours are really good. And they're all highlighted with a really light purple. The colour scheme is amazing and both the figures stand out because of this.
Okay, well let's have a look at Robocop's articulation. So his head's on a ball joint, goes left and right, up and down. The rest of his joints are quite stiff actually. There's not a lot of movement, so his arm joints are on a ball as well, so they can go up and down, forwards and back. They don't really go out, they go in a little bit but not out because his shoulder blade there stops it. Same with that. And then he's got a hinge joint midway down his arm there. It just goes up and down, and then his hand has only got the one joint that kind of swivels there. It's quite tight again, but so there's no other extra movement in his hand. Same with the other side as well. No torso, there's a little bit of a torso crunch there. I don't know if you can see him just go up and down there, but again his body armour stops him from doing that. And then there's a waist swivel as well. Then we go down there, so there is a joint on his groin there. Again, it's just I think a ball joint, so it has got quite a bit of range of motion with it. So you can literally move his leg up and down, go backwards, forward. Doesn't really go out again because of it, hindering it. And then he's got bends at the knees there, so you can just literally just bend it once. And then his feet are on a ball joint as well, it looks like, but it is hindered by these pistons that he's got on the back of his legs. So you can move them around, and like the pistons kind of bend with him and come out. There's like a longer piston in there to make up for the different movement and stuff. If you want it to come out more, it will do. I don't know, it looks a bit wobbly. I don't know if they would break quite easily or not, but I mean most of the time he's just going to be standing there anyway. So there's a look at the articulation for Robocop.
So Robocop actually comes with an action feature with the figure. He's got a small button on the back of his leg, and when you press the button, eventually, because it's actually quite stiff, he actually pops out his leg there, so the iconic gun can fit inside his leg, so he can withdraw it quickly to shoot Terminators. So Robocop comes with 3 accessories: the classic pistol. He gets a massive flamethrower painted in the same retro style with the blue and the purple with lots of gold detailing on it, which is nice. And then he also gets some flames to go with the flamethrower, which fit in the end of the barrel there. They're made of like a hard plastic. It's a good effect. A major issue I've found is that when his gun's in his hand with the flames on it, he can't actually hold the gun. It just doesn't grip in his hand properly, it just falls over, which is really disappointing because he looks great with his gun. So there you go everybody, there's my look at Robocop, one of my all-time favourite science fiction characters. The paint job on the figure is excellent, I love the design of it. It's a bit of a shame that he can't actually hold his gun properly, but it's a small gripe really. I mean, you can still display him without the flames coming out of his gun. Stay out of trouble.
So then the Terminator one is much the same again. You've got the figure inside the box there as well with his weapon. He's got a plasma rifle, T800. Picture of the Terminator, exoskeleton down the bottom there as well. This is up to the battle damage Terminator. You can see the battle damage there, but we'll go and have a look at that in a second. Then you've got the grid at the side of the box, the same blurb on the back there as well. And then you've got a picture like they were in the game there represented. And then you've got also another look at a couple other figures that you can get in the line as well. You can get a 2-pack of the actual exoskeletons as well. And it says exoskeleton figures sold separately. Let's say again, I wonder if you can actually put these both together. Oh yeah, look, excellent. You can put them both together, and there's an image of the game on the back as well. Great little touch out from Neca.
Just like Robocop, the Terminator stands just over 7 inches tall. Outside of the box, he's got the same excellent retro paint job that Robocop has. This time focusing a lot more on just the purples and greys. His jacket's got some great effects on it as well, with like the light hitting it with purple instead, and then obviously the facial sculpting as well, with all the blood and metal showing through is really good. He's also got some nice little details on the back of his jacket, like all the bullet holes there as well. Really adds to it all.
Okay guys, we're back again, and now this time we're going to have a look at the articulation on the Terminator. Once again, the likeness to Schwarzenegger is pretty good actually, considering it's such a small scale toy. So good job there, Neca. The articulation of this guy's a bit stranger compared to Robocop. So you've got the heads on a ball joint again, goes left and right, up and down. Very, very loose though. Literally, mine just popping out, just messing around with it there. But you can put it back in there. His arms, he's got a leather jacket over him, which kind of hinders some of the movement. So it's kind of like a rubbery leather jacket that sits in this midriff here. So his arms do go up and out and down on the ball joint. Like I said, they are very stiff though because of the jacket. But you can get some movement out of that. Then he's got the hinge joints at the elbows there, but they can obviously swivel as well. Hinge joint there, swivel. And then his hands, again, swivel. Each side there as well. Both his hands are like a harder plastic as well, where Robocop had like one really gummy, rubbery hand to hold his guns. It's a lot more harder plastic on the Terminator. And then he hasn't got a torso crunch, but he has a torso swivel there. And then this is quite strange. So his left leg doesn't have any movement at all in it. Literally nothing. The boot just about moves left and right. That's it. But the whole of his leg is static, basically, doesn't move. And then his right leg swivels just above the kneecap there. And then we've got a one just below his kneecap there. Just a boot cut there. And then like nothing on his foot, so quite strange. I don't know why they did that. Perhaps the moulding was just like that they could only do it that way. I don't know, but it still stands absolutely fine. And that's a look at the articulation on the Terminator.
The Terminator comes with one accessory, his plasma gun, painted in the same way. Nice little details all over the gun. One thing I did find that was quite odd, the second hand is a hard plastic and it won't actually grip around the edge of the gun. So if you wanted to have a two-handed pose, you can't really do that. I just thought it was really weird. So there you go everybody, there is a look at the Terminator. Really excellent likeness, like I said, of Schwarzenegger, and the paint job, again, can't fault it. Both figures do have their strange things about them, including their funny hands and the fact they can't hold their guns, which I'm quite surprised about actually, because I don't usually have this sort of problem with the Neca figures. But, you know, it happens. A nice little touch is behind the blisters in the boxes as well that have a retro scene from the game. Really cool. So there you go everybody, there's a look at Robocop vs Terminator, the Robocop and Terminator figure. Both figures are excellent. I have to say Robocop is probably my favourite, but that's because I just love Robocop. I picked them up really cheap and they're on eBay now. They display really well together, so they're going on my shelf, and if you get a chance to get them, I would definitely recommend picking them up. There is a couple more in the line, like I said, the exoskeletons, so maybe I will review them at a later date. I've got no plans at the moment. Thanks a lot everybody, keep watching, subscribing and liking, and I'll speak to you soon.